And welcome back. Field all in line after Corey LaJoie cuts the right front tire down, brings out our first caution. Getting ready for the restart of the Jegs150 from Columbus Motor Speedway. It's been all Max Gresham out in front. Darrell Wallace Jr. giving chase, running second. A good restart this time. Darrell Wallace Jr. on the outside trying to get by Gresham.
Tough road to go here. Max is able to pull out in front of Darrell Wallace Jr.
Top four all in line now as they go 2 by 2, fifth on back. Let's find out what happened with that right front tire. Go to Derek.
Guys, just a quick follow-up on Corey LaJoie. That right front flat was actually the cause of a Heim joint on the sway bar on his race car. Where the sway bar mounts up to the Heim joint is very close to the right front tire. Being that you're always making left turns at this racetrack, it pushed that sidewall into the Heim joint. It wore the rubber away, and the tire went flat.
Rick, the Heim joint it's a spherical rod end that hooks the sway bar arm to the lower control arm. And that is very close to that tire, just as Derek said. So that we see that happen a lot where the deflection of the tire will get into that Heim joint.
And that's something that they probably should have figured out in practice earlier today, that there was going to be some type of wear on that.
Yeah, it's a situation where they probably started this race really low on air pressure. It may have started rubbing then, and then finally, there may have been a situation where Corey had to turn the car a little bit harder for some reason, maybe in traffic, and it might have got in a little bit more than they had, a little less clearance than they thought.
And because Corey LaJoie didn't pull off the racetrack right away, NASCAR deemed that he caused the caution intentionally, so they penalized him a lap for that.
They held him on pit road. We saw the official there when he was making his pit stop holding him.
Good battles all throughout the field now as you see Brett Moffitt in the 00 move to the inside of that 15 of Matt DiBenedetto.
A good move by Brett Moffitt to get to the inside of Matt DiBenedetto.
The preferred line down at the bottom of this racetrack. A little bit rough, though, when you get your left wheels on. It's not a curve, but it is definitely a little bit elevated in a bumpy area just in front of the grass.
Somewhat like a ripple strip, yep. So you definitely don't want to spend a whole lot of time down there.
Brett Moffitt hugging that yellow line on the inside just behind the 03 of Cody Hodgson.
Give a bit of a gap in front of Cody, so I think Brett Moffitt's going to try to do his best to make quick work of Cody right here. Looks like Brett has a pretty good car right now. He's able to keep that car down really, really low right next to that ripple strip and exit the corner fairly straight.
How difficult is this as a driver to be continually turning left? There's no brakes on this racetrack.
Yeah, there's really no relaxation whatsoever. You have no straightaway, but that's pretty typical of most of the short tracks we go to. You know, Bowman Gray, as we see Brett Moffitt get Cody Hodgson up off the bottom of the racetrack, it's probably going to cost Cody at least a couple positions here, maybe more by the time he gets back down. There's Chase Elliott. But these guys are used to that. They run these type of racetracks. Bowman Gray's a quarter mile. We saw Langley Field was just about 4/10 of a mile, so they're used to this kind of racetrack.
Battle for 8th continues. Sergio Pena, Ryan Gifford, Cody Hodgson. Gifford now moves to the inside of Hodgson, able to take that spot away.
Saw so many spots lost by Cody Hodgson when he got up off the bottom of the racetrack. When Brett Moffitt was right behind him, Brett got him moved up off the bottom. He lost several positions.
Michael Cherry in the 8 just in front of that white 71 of Eddie McDonald. This is out front. Gresham, Darrell Wallace Jr. running 1 and 2. This time, after this restart, Gresham hasn't been able to pull away from Darrell Wallace Jr. the way he had at the start of this race.
Yeah, how about that 16 Daniel Suarez? He's coming off his best career finish. Problem for John Blankenship, making his first career start. That's actually a Venturini Motorsports entry.
The right side, we see the sparks coming out. The right front tire is down as he's made his way back into the infield. We stay green.
Yeah, this is going to be very, very difficult for him to overcome.
There's LaJoie running 24th. Again, he's more than 1 lap down right now after his tire went down and then the penalty on top of that. Suarez trying to hold off the 59 of Alex Bowman, who's all over his back bumper.
And those are teammates. That's part of the X-Team racing team. All 4 cars here qualifying in the top 10. Nice effort here.
Now the top 4 is pulled away from the rest of the field now. Gresham and Darrell Wallace Jr. running 1 and 2. Suarez and Bowman battling for that 3rd spot.
Alex Bowman has a little bit of experience here too. I'm not sure how much running a USAC midget car will help you for these K&N cars, but Alex has a couple starts in the USAC midgets here at Columbus.
A little bit lighter, a lot of horsepower, and no fenders.
Yeah, and yeah, almost exactly the same as these K&N cars.
And side by side for third. Bowman makes the move on Suarez, takes third away, and Suarez drops back to fourth.
Well, Suarez was a Rookie of the Year last year in the NASCAR Mexico. Had 4 top 10 finishes. Just running a limited schedule over here, still doing his duty. Oh, side-by-side battle for the lead. Darrell Wallace Jr. gets to the inside of Max Gresham.
Was able to take the preferred line away from Gresham and takes the lead away. So Darrell Wallace Jr. out in front. And this is a relatively short race, so they're up on the wheel from the very drop of the green flag. Only 150 laps, 50 miles is the distance of this one.
Yeah, these guys have to be on it now. Darrell Wallace Jr. We saw Max Gresham open up a bit of a lead before that first caution flag, and then we saw Darrell Wallace able to stay with him after the subsequent restart, and then got underneath him and drove by him here. Now he's in some heavy lap traffic. There's Clay Campbell, the 08 car. Darrell's going to go by him on the outside.
Wallace Jr. choosing the outside line to make it around.
Ooh.
Clay Campbell, and look at Gresham. He had a little help from behind, got him a little bit loose. Moves to the outside, also making his way by Clay Campbell.
There's Alex Bowman, the 59 car, going by Clay Campbell right now, trying to chase back down to the 18 car of Max Gresham.
Remember, only 26 cars on the racetrack, but once they're spread out, you've got cars almost nose to tail all the way around this place. Gresham right now behind the 6 of Darrell Wallace Jr. Those two fighting for the top spot.
Once Darrell got by him, Max has been able to stay right with him. He's not been able to drive away. Could have been just a bit of a slip or something that Max had that allowed Darrell to get underneath him.
Alex Bowman still right on the back bumper. That 18 of Max Gresham as now they work around the slower lap traffic. That's the 28 of Ali Kern.
The West guys are running in Colorado here in a couple weeks, and Alex Bowman's team is going to take him out to Colorado to run that West race. A little bit of a break in the East schedule, so they're going to go out there and do some similar racing out with our brothers from the West.
And a relatively short season, only 12 races in the season, as this is race number 9. Let's go back to the pits and Derek Pernissiglio.
Max Gresham has really got a championship run being put together. Check out some of these stats. He's got 2 wins so far this year. He's got 7 straight top 5s in the last 7 races. He won last week at New Hampshire, and so far his average finish has been 2.5.
Pretty stout, Max Gresham.
Yeah, it is for the last 7 races. There's no question about that. But I was talking to Dave McCarty, Darrell Wallace Jr.'s crew chief for the 6 car, and he said if we could leave here somewhere around 100 points out, then these last 3 races I would think we would have a shot. But we have to get into around 100 points, and right now he's looking good. But if Max Gresham finishes second, he's not going to gain enough. He's 130 some points behind.
Battle for 4th now heating up. Brett Moffitt has caught up to Daniel Suarez. Moffitt in the 00. Suarez just in front of him in the 16. And now side by side for second. Here comes Alex Bowman looking to the inside of Max Gresham.
We saw just a little bit of contact. I saw some tire smoke before we went back to that battle between Suarez and Moffitt. Looks like Alex Bowman definitely has the preferred line on the inside. He is going to be able to make this pass on Gresham.
Gresham hanging strong, now tucks in behind the 59 and is able to stay just in front of Daniel Suarez. So holds on to the 3rd spot. Suarez all over his back bumper though now.
What a great pass by Alex Bowman in that 59 car.
Suarez looks to the inside of that 18 of Gresham, trying to take the spot away now.
Looks like Gresham's car is falling off just a little bit here. We still have a long way to go in this race.
And early on, Gresham was able to hug that bottom of the racetrack, and now it seems as though he's not able to stay down on the bottom.
Lost a couple more spots. Suarez got by him as well as Brett Moffitt. Now way up the racetrack, but DiBenedetto gets by.
So problems for Max Gresham coming into this very strong. Last 3 races, 2 wins, got 4 wins in his career, and he's struggling back to the 6th spot.
Seemed like he was leading just a couple laps ago, now all the way back to 6th. We have a smoker on the racetrack.
Which is a little tire rub out of the 12. That's Beto Monteiro.
You see he's got some contact on the right rear quarter panel. That's what caused that tire to rub. Oh, Brett Moffitt has turned around.
Moffitt around as the 12 was trying to get onto pit road. It looks like Moffitt had a little help. He spins around. The caution comes out again.
See if he can get to, here's another replay here. You see what happens. The 37 gets into Montero, just leaves nowhere for Moffitt to be. Had him up in the third lane. Very, very little grip up there.
Saw the 15 of Matt DiBenedetto also get into the side of that 00 of Brett Moffitt. So Moffitt has problems. He goes around, brings the caution out, and he goes into the infield. Darrell Wallace Jr., your leader.